As a family, we have never believed that people can disappear into thin air. We know someone knows something, and we ask that you come forward to put an end to this relentless nightmare. Many people over the past 16 years have questioned why we continue to search for Trevor. The answer is simple if you knew Trevor. We can sum it up by saying if the situation was reversed, he would never give up on us.
Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this video we're going to be looking at a missing persons case that is a little closer to home. For me, I mean, it's in Ireland. Today we're looking at the mysterious case of Trevor Deely, who went missing in Dublin after attending a Christmas party in the year 2000. There have been no clues as to where he went, other than the sinister security footage taken of him the night he disappeared. On Thursday, December 7th, 2000, Trevor Deely, a 22-year-old IT specialist, attended a staff Christmas party which involved travelling to multiple locations until they wound up at a Dublin nightclub. At around 3:25 a.m. on December 8th, Trevor left the club and would have ordinarily walked home to his apartment, but there was a heavy rainstorm. Due to a taxi driver strike, no cabs were available, so Trevor decided to walk to his workplace, the Bank of Ireland Asset Management headquarters, which were a couple of minutes away. Why he would do this in the middle of the night when he was probably intoxicated, we don't know. Maybe he just really loved IT. After entering the building, Trevor spent a few minutes checking emails before having a coffee with a co-worker who was working the overnight shift. Even though the co-worker described Trevor as being a bit tipsy, he did not believe he was overly intoxicated. Trevor grabbed one of the office's corporate golf umbrellas before exiting the building to walk home at 4:02 a.m. He used his cell phone to leave a short voicemail for a friend, and this was the last time anyone heard from him. The voicemail, by the way, it was described as something inconsequential. Something like, "Sorry I missed you, I'll see you tomorrow, good night." Wasn't anything important. Trevor failed to show up to work later that day, which did not raise any alarm bells since he had been partying the night before. However, when he failed to show up for work on Monday, December 11th, this caused great concern. Nobody had made any contact with Trevor over the weekend, and his two apartment flatmates were out of town on holiday. His sister attempted to call him multiple times that weekend and claimed that Trevor's phone did ring until it started going straight to voicemail on December 11th. After he was officially reported missing, police investigators started examining some of the CCTV footage of Trevor that night. At 3:34 a.m., security cameras captured Trevor entering the office building through the rear gate. An unidentified man dressed in black was shown standing near the gate in the same spot since 3:05 a.m. When Trevor arrived, the two men could be seen having a brief conversation before Trevor walked through the gate. According to the co-worker Trevor met inside, Trevor never mentioned anything about this conversation. When Trevor exited through the rear gate at 4:02, the man in black was no longer there. The last official sighting of Trevor occurred when CCTV footage showed him passing by an ATM at 4:14 a.m. 30 seconds after Trevor walked out of frame, a man dressed in black passed by the ATM and headed in the same direction. Since the footage was not very clear, no one could be certain if this was the same man seen standing outside Trevor's office. Even though a public plea was sent out for this man to come forward, no one ever did. So, who was the man in black Trevor spoke to and could have possibly been the same person following Trevor home? We don't know why he was standing outside the office building at 3 o'clock in the morning for seemingly some reason, but not an obvious one. Everything about his behaviour suggests he had intent to do something, and that him hanging around after Trevor went into the office wasn't somehow accidental. And no one knows what he and Trevor spoke about that night. The footage had captured Trevor right after he crossed a bridge, which overlooks the Grand Canal. The Gardaí performed a thorough search of the canal to see if Trevor might have fallen off the bridge and drowned, but never found him or his umbrella, and seemed certain his body would have been recovered if he was in the water. Trevor's route home would have required him to walk down a road where the United States Embassy was located. President Clinton visited Dublin on December 12th, so his security team had performed a thorough search of the area right after Trevor disappeared, but found no evidence to indicate foul play. Mark Deely, Trevor's brother, immediately went to Dublin to look for him. But as with the Clintons visiting, the area had been scrubbed. Finding a damaged umbrella or a broken phone after a storm, it's not that unusual. So if there was any evidence of foul play outside of a body, the Clintons' security team would have most likely removed it. The Garda Aqua team searched the River Dodder, the most likely point of entry. They found nothing. One went so far as to compare the river to a swimming pool in terms of clarity. They didn't even need wetsuits and parts. He wasn't in there. People did try call him over the weekend. The only one who remembers this is Trevor's sister. She thinks his phone rang, but she's not sure. If it rang, then that phone was not in the water. They also searched the Grand Canal and Grand Canal Basin, the two other potential entry points. They found nothing. The investigation was huge. Missing posters went up everywhere, even in cities on the opposite side of the country. But it seems he just disappeared. The week before Trevor went missing, he had gone to Alaska. This trip was very vague. We know that a girl was involved. We know that she had made several excuses as to why he shouldn't come. We know that he ignored them and just went anyway. And he received a reception as cold as Alaska. So we have a young man who's run to the other side of the world, and it seems like he's pretty much wasted his time. He's been drinking, it's late, he's alone. His walk home has several large bodies of water. The simplest explanation is that he sadly committed suicide, but the rivers and canals were drained or searched thoroughly. One interesting thing to note is, if he did check his email, it would have been about 6 or 7 p.m. in Alaska. Maybe he got an email, or maybe he didn't get an email, and that was the problem. In August 2017, the Gardaí performed an excavation of a 3-acre wooded site 8 kilometers from where Trevor was last seen. An informant had come forward and claimed that a member of a well-known criminal family had confessed to him about beating up Trevor and putting him inside the trunk of a car before driving him to a house and threatening him at gunpoint. The suspect apparently did not intend to kill Trevor, but the gun discharged accidentally, and so he buried Trevor's body inside a drain. However, the search of the wooded area turned up no trace of Trevor's remains. It's unlikely the informant's story was credible.
Somebody somewhere knows something. Please help us find Trevor. Please come forward. Thank you.
In 2018, Trevor's father made a plea for information in the disappearance, and even with a €100,000 reward, we still are no closer to finding Trevor or learning anything new about what happened the night he disappeared and where he is now. Thanks for watching. Mike out.